Today, both the US and Israel have attacked Syrian sovereign land illegally without a UN resolution or consent from the Syrian government. Contrary to what you may have heard, the Syrian government did not give permission and was not asked for permission by the US government. Simply being told that an attack is going to happen doesn't make it any less of a breach of sovereignty if consent is not given. I'm here to say we, the Syrian people, irrespective of any politician, reject and resist this illegal war. Almost exactly 1 year ago, the majority of US people rejected the war on Syria. That was when it was obvious that the US would be entering that war on the side of Al-Qaeda. But the wolf changed into sheep's clothing, and now many people believe the US is attacking Syria on the basis of fighting ISIS, the new Al-Qaeda. But that is not the truth. In this video, I'm going to tell you exactly why and how these airstrikes will not defeat ISIS. The US government and military-industrial machine have basically 3 excuses they cycle through to sell their wars to the American people. Number 1, democracy and regime change. Number 2, WMDs and chemical weapons. And number 3, fighting Al-Qaeda and terrorism. A decade ago, in the lead-up to the Iraq War, all 3 of these excuses were used. And these exact same excuses are now being used to start a war with Syria, from WMDs to regime change and now finally fighting Al-Qaeda, which seems to be the easiest one to sell. So please, don't buy it. Because even whilst the US was backing Al-Qaeda in Libya and Syria, some of us already knew they would eventually use them as an excuse to start a war. Indeed, it was the US foreign policy that created groups like ISIS, Jabhat al-Nusra and Al-Qaeda. It was Obama's support for Syria has a powerful air defense. Again, I predicted that the US would attack Syrian soil once ISIS takes out Syrian air defenses near Raqqa. And that is exactly what happened with the fall of Taqba Air Base. And now, US planes are flying over Syrian skies outside of the reach of Syrian air defenses. It's a debate. Minus the McDonald's, of course. Both coalition members, Qatar, had enough influence with Jabhat al-Nusra to negotiate the release of UN peacekeepers. US airstrikes against ISIS will not defeat ISIS. Instead, more and more of these idiots will simply join ISIS, believing their cause against the US has been vindicated. ISIS ranks will swell, and the war is going to continue indefinitely. If the US really wanted to fight ISIS, they would stop their ally Turkey from giving them safe haven, medical